Greetings and salutations, this is Red Bastard, and we are doing another Let's Play as Novgorod, going for the Frozen Achievements Frozen Assets achievement, rather. And that requires that we make the White Sea into the most valuable, the richest trade node in the world, and we have to own 90% of the trade power there. The problem is that early on we start with Muscovy as a rival who can trounce us, and if we do defeat them, which we have, merchant republics are limited in the current patch by the size that they're allowed to be. So that means that we can't expand rapidly while we remain as a merchant republic and funnel all of that trade from Asia, basically the Russian Empire at its height. We can't try to reproduce that and funnel all the trade from Siberia and the Caucasus and Kiev and so on into the North Sea. So we have to be a little more creative about our options. Now, where we last left off, specifically, we're allied to Poland, who has their union, we're allied to the Livonian Order, and we're allied to Sweden. We have Tver as a march underneath us, and Odoyev and Yaroslavl are in a trade league with us, so we get their trade power. Perm and Muscovy are vassals under Kazan, who had been our ally, but is currently a rival, as our relations were degrading over time, and Sweden was less than pleased with our alliance, as we were over in Diplo slots quite substantially. So we opted to get rid of one ally, and that was Kazan, as that relationship was going to break at any time. Sweden is in a war with Denmark, and we're going to help them out. Our ally Poland is in the war. They invaded the Empire, and that was a foolish move, as Bohemia is the emperor, and as usual, Bohemia, under current patch, often allies with the Ottomans, so Poland will suffer. And they decided to wage this war while there was a 26 stack of very powerful Lithuanian pretender rebels running rampant through Lithuania. So it might end up that Poland gets trounced here, and while they can't do anything about it, can't liberate these provinces, pretenders are going to take over substantial parts of Lithuania and break the union. We don't want to see that, as the Lithuania that will emerge independent of that will look for allies and rivals, and they almost certainly will view us as a threat. Actually, let's do that the other way. I'm going to send a guy up here to siege out Norway, who is still allied to Denmark. They got their independence, but they quite legitimately view Sweden as a threat. And Sweden has some claims on them, I would imagine, but they took their capital before, and they'll quite likely take this. At least I hope they will, because the borders look awful. And we may be able to challenge Denmark navally here, but if they join up with their allies, Mecklenburg, Norway, and Verdun, then they would be able to sink a lot of our ships. And the Swedish ships are just not going to cooperate with us. Oh, we lost battle. I should have been paying more attention there. I imagine that this... Wait, did they just... They did just ally with Norway? I'm not sure if that's necessarily going to be a problem for us. I'm going to try increasing the manpower here. We want these to have 10 development, at least, so that we can get some more buildings here. Oh, we're able to put in them at the present time. Our marketplaces, but we do want to get more ships out of those provinces. I'm not sure exactly what Sweden's strategy is going to be here. It looks like they don't really have any claims, so they might not take anything from Norway. They might just try to piece them out quickly. Doyev is a technical horde. I don't like that because if they pick up any provinces, then they will leave our trade. We have some money. I don't think we can really build anything at the moment. Yeah, so the Trade League only includes us as a leader, as a merchant republic, and then one province miners. And of course, if they lose the war, that's also bad for us because we want them in our Trade League. And we're ahead of time on Diplotech, so we are going to take the next idea here. Trade range. And we are collecting, or we're sending trade from the Baltic Sea to Lubeck just because we have a spare guy. Instead of that, we're going to transfer trade power to the Baltic Sea guy. We're relocating here to send it north. Very soon we'll be able to get another one to funnel more trade up this direction. And if Sweden does take territory from Norway, that would be good, because we don't want them to have to continue fighting these two-front wars where they have to fight Norway and Denmark in different directions at the same time. There's a problem here that Denmark is occupying this territory. If they get this fort, they will have a great deal of mobility. So we need to deal with Norway and get some troops down there. Okay, we could get Patriarchal Authority, which gives us manpower. I'm not entirely opposed to that right now. Yeah, I think we're going to go for it. We've been buying it down, giving up Patriarchal Authority to get other stuff. But we have a mission to rely more on trade income, so losing some tax income to Patriarchal Authority isn't a problem. And we're at 57% of our money is coming from trade. That's pretty good sign. Need to get that to 60 or above. I'm taking the Norwegian capital. I'm going to keep our armies close together near the mountains, and keep transferring all of this to Sweden. Can't imagine that Norway is all that excited about this war. And Poland, poor Poland. It's a really bad move on their part, and I wish they hadn't have made it. Perhaps they're trying a creative strategy of trying to get Ottoman troops to put down these Lithuanian pretender rebels. I'm not sure. I'm going to send this one cannon up with that general. To help with the siege. And this cavalry isn't really doing us any favors. We're going to get it south. Reduce the attrition. And listen to strategic advice from the cat that entered the room. And offered some insightful suggestions. Okay, I lose point stability, but we were at +2, so that's not as painful as it could be. And for now, we're keeping the traders firmly in power to give us more trade power and reduce the costs of our navy. Okay, so there's our Estonian separatists here. That's interesting. It must be because of religious issues that they have a Catholic faith and one Catholic province for now. So they'll probably flip over, and that will give them a lot more stability. Okay, we could tech up here. That's not going to cause us any corruption, so we should do that. And we can start making some buildings as soon as we have the slots to do so. And we're going to transfer this over to Sweden. So continental Norway is completely occupied. They still have some islands here, including Iceland. I think their war enthusiasm is going to be really low, and they'll probably peace out pretty quickly. So we're going to march our army south and hope their allies do the same. I'll try getting Tver's troops down here as well. Or hopefully some Swedes. Because if we attack here to relieve the fort, they will reinforce and they will win. And we don't want tax modifier yet until we've completed this and gotten that nice trade efficiency. So we're going to hold off on getting that idea. Though I do want that extra merchant and the extra global trade power, but we are going to hold off. I guess we could go over here and attack them. I guess we'll position ourselves there, although I do like the defensive bonus of those woods. Sorry about that cough. I'm not sure what their troops are waiting for. They really should be getting down here. This is going to fall. If no one is going to get down here, I think we'd better stay on these woods. Okay, who do I have did leave? That's unfortunate for us. And note that they became Sunni, which was pretty funny. So now our trade link consists of us and Yaroslavl. Riga starts as a member of the Hansa. And Poland is getting wrecked over here. I'm going to boost up those favors just in case they are forced to end their relationship with us. I want them to have as much trust as possible because our favors will not be usable after that point. Okay, our trade income is dropping a little. Oh, there's Danzig, and it instantly joined a trade link. That's unfortunate. Nitra instantly joined another one. If Theodoro gets independence, we could potentially bring them in, and we could invite Kazikimuk in. They would accept, but we would have to be at peace. And that wouldn't be a bad idea. They would funnel some of this trade up towards us. But quite likely they would just end up dragging us into wars where we couldn't protect them. Theodora would be a safer bet. Okay, this war ended. We got to keep the alliance, which is good. They just lost Danzig, and they lost that province. They have a core here on Neumark. So that was a very bad move on Poland's part. The Ottomans took Bessarabia, and Moldavia got their independence. And still, our allies are not in any sort of position to be able to save Lithuania. So I think I'm going to pull back an advisor and improve relations and set ourselves as friendly with them. Okay, that fort did fall while we were distracted. But it looks like our allies have contained the situation by finally moving those troops south. And they might be in a position to take out these rebels if they commit to it. Okay, it looks like we got a strong position where they can't get past without attacking one of these armies, and Tver is there to reinforce wherever that might be. All sorts of problems within the Livonian Order. The Livonian Order has Livonian separatists who will want to create a Livonia. But who are we to judge? Okay, it looks like that fort is falling, and we're going to wait till we get movement locked in. Nope, didn't happen. So we're all going to pounce on them here. In theory, Kazan's rival is back, no surprises there. Now, it would be pretty funny if we sent our fleet down to hit them here and prevent them from being able to retreat. They would stop here and get stack wiped. But I'm not sure if our navy can get there in time. And there's some damaged ships, so we're not going to risk that. Okay, we get some caravels here for half the cost. Well, no, that's not true. Yeah, half the cost, and 50% of the time. No, they're caravels, not carracks, so that's an increased cost. Well, I guess we might as well. We're losing the money either way. Might as well get ships out of it. We could always sell them. And we're going to set all of these to protecting trade in Novgorod. Not sure that our presence is necessary here, so we're going to move back here. Okay, what would we get? We're going to go for more authority. We want some manpower. Decrease that tax income. And there's an objection from Katie number 2 over that issue. But she's not very good at this game, so we're going to disregard it. Alright. I think we're going to just allow that war exhaustion to sit there. I want manpower. That's not critical. And Lithuania got their independence. They are allied to Poland, and they are friendly to us. I'm wondering if we should reconsider our alliance system, drop the Livonian order, and take Lithuania on as an ally instead. But I think we'll just hold to the course for now. And we could take a little bit more territory here, as we now have our Novgorodian idea. So my goal was to invade Kazan, free their vassals, but they annexed Perm. And we can no longer count on Polish support. Denmark is taking up all of Sweden's attention, so we definitely have to wait for that war at the very least. We're going to split up our armies and send them east to prepare for that. And we have these trade ships, and we might as well have them protect trade here in the White Sea. Going to improve relations there, and if Denmark is ahead of us on tech, which they are not, we would have tried to study their technology. Kazan and Crimea almost certainly are not either. So I'm not sure who we should study for tech. We have really good technology. And France is 11, 9, 11. So we could get a little bit of a discount on admin tech. That's about it. Okay, we're going to go for diplomat once again. I don't really, let's see. Yeah, so Norway had to give a bunch of land there. And Scotland likes us. We'll improve relations with them. Oh, we've got some province that we've claimed as being of vital interest. I don't know what. What do you guys have claimed? Okay, looks like the claim down there we have claimed. Okay, we are no longer going to claim these things. Okay, Kazan is at war with Golden Horde. So now would be a good time to cut them down to size. If our allies finish this war. And their trade income is dropping. So that mind, I'm not sure if we really should be worrying about this mission. Definitely should top off relations here. And we can afford to get a little bit more development. Not sure where would be the greatest idea to do that. Okay, so we got a bunch of favors with Sweden, and they're now much better shape than they were. Increase that trust, and we'll still leave ourselves in sufficient favors to declare war if we need to. Our trade income is dropping for some reason. Okay, Kazan is allied to Crimea and Oirat. Let's just check how many troops they have. 23,000. We can take them. But our allies wouldn't join in. Poland is in debt. Livonian Order's in debt. Sweden is in debt. Well, Sweden's debt is only 100. So we're going to pay that off for them. Livonian Order, I don't know if we're going to keep them as an ally long term, and they have over 800 in debt. I'm wondering if it's worth it for us to pay off their debt. $804. They would join the war if we paid off their debt. I could humiliate them, but we actually won territory out of it. Okay, Poland, let's get you strong again. I have to send them 850, and they will love us for it. Okay, so Poland would join. Sweden's coming up with further